Boxing fans, I'm here with the respected trainer Emanuel Steward. When you first started working with Cornelius Bundrage to now, have you been surprised at the progress you've gotten out of him?
Well, Cornelius has always has been at the Crunch Gym. You know, the Crunch Gym was right around the corner from his house.
I understand.
He was always just a quiet kid, nothing special about him. He probably had maybe 5 or 6 amateur fights. He was always just quietly around, more of an observer around the gym. And what happened when I had Lennox Lewis fighting Mike Tyson in Memphis, on the card I asked Cornelius to be able to get a fight since he was a kid hanging around at the gym for the most part. And he fought on the card in Memphis and won, and that was about 2002 or something.
Yeah.
And it's hard to believe that here, it's just 10 years later, here he is still fighting, at 39, and that's what really kicked off his career, so to say.
Gotcha.
And then in between, he was fortunate enough to get in the Contenders TV series, but I never had no involvement with him doing that. It was my nephew who mainly trained him, Sugar Hill.
Right.
So he was just a kid around the gym. So what happened, they had a fight on the Vladimir Klitschko card, and they needed an opponent for the kid they was building up for. Klitschko's a fighter who now is the 154-pound WBO champion.
Yeah.
And so they said, you have a kid back in your gym that maybe we could get? I said, yeah, I got Cornelius Bundrage, a kid that trains. I don't manage him, I'll train him. So they sent him over on a 5-day notice, and he knocked out their fight.
Right.
And then right after that, he had a few more fights, I think, and then he asked me would I manage him. But I have never managed him. And I've trained him. He was just at my gym training. So that's when I took over as manager. Was able to get him a fight for the IBF championship.
Right.
And he won that by knocking out Spinks, and then signed with Don King, and he's fought one fight a year since then.
Okay.
Only with a Don King fighter. So.
Okay.
Then I just recently said Don King, and obviously told him that the relationship was over with, and he'd reneged on the contract too many times.
Okay.
So we're out of our contract. So this fight here, if things go well, it'll put him right in the mix of one of the hottest divisions in boxing, which is the 154-pound division, where it's Cotto, it's Mayweather, Alvarez. It's a lot of good fighters. So the thing is to try to get this mandatory out the way, and for him to fight 2 to 3 times a year.
And you mentioned Alvarez. Were you surprised that there's a little reports going around that he might be fighting? He was supposed to fight Paul Williams, then Kirkland, then Ortiz. Now he might be fighting Marcos Maidana. That's what a lot of people are saying. Sal Alvarez, are you surprised to hear that, given that Maidana was a natural 140-pounder?
It's very hard for me to see himself Maidana. The last few times Maidana has fought, even when he won, I think with Morales, he's not looked at impressive, and he's just physically, to me, too small.
Yeah.
A lot is going to depend on the performance of Bundrage. If he looks very good, and this will be his first time, believe it or not, on television for the public, probably in about 6 years, so to say, a major fight. So if the public sees him put on a good performance, I'm quite sure that'll be the natural fight, because both are natural 154-pounders, both will be champions, and both are held by a golden boy now.
Do you feel that Sal Alvarez's success, as a part of it, has been because of great matchmaking in some way?
I think part of Alvarez's success has been, to a great degree, it's been great matchmaking, the Shane Moses and those type guys, I still think he's a good fighter. I like him, explosive, accurate, pinpoint power puncher. And he brings the intensity into the ring that I like for a fighter. So I think he's a good fighter still, but I think he's been matched carefully. But that's part of boxing. And
lately there's just been kind of a wave of performance-enhancing drugs, kind of people getting found to have that in their systems, from Andre Berto, Peterson, and recently Tarver. Are you been surprised at all the recent wave of PEDs in boxing?
I am very, very surprised, and I'm very concerned. In my experience, I just recently had 2 with Andy Lee. To my knowledge,
that's what
Julio Cesar Chavez never really took any drug tests. They tell me he's going to take a test after the fight. Then the last minute they have my nephew come in. He's going to take it now. My nephew goes in, and here he comes out of a room with 2 other guys. And we don't know who pitched in a bottle, if somebody did. And so they say he took the test, so you don't have to take nothing now. And as Andy said, I boxed with Vladimir Klitschko many times. I boxed for this fight with guys 185 pounds. Each round, his strength was growing like he was almost a 500-pound man by the time the 4th round came. And, based on that and so many other things that I'm beginning to see, I realized that there may be something going on that I don't know of because I don't do it. And I'm looking at this and all of he's having leg cramps and Manny Pacquiao having leg cramps the week before.
Yeah.
There's too many strange things that are going on. And I really do believe now that that's become a very serious issue in our sport that has to be seriously dealt with because, having advantages of hometowns and small rings, even maybe partial officials, that's one thing, but to have something where a person's human strength and endurance is doubling and tripling that of a opponent, that could be one of the most, difficult and problematic problems in our sport in the next year or so if something hasn't been did about it.